Citigroup, then known as Citicorp, was foundering in the early 1990s. It needed money. In stepped Alwaleed bin Talal, writing the bank a check for $590 million in 1991. Today, that stake is worth $10 billion and gives him control of about 5% of the bank. But that stock has remained fairly unchanged for the last 4 years, and we asked the prince how long he intends to let that continue. Citigroup has underperformed the last few years. I mean, if you would have bought Deutsche Bank, if you would have bought HSBC in the time that Chuck Prince has been the CEO of Citigroup, you would have made a lot of money. Citigroup has gone nowhere. How much longer do you give Chuck Prince?
Oh, sure. Citigroup last 3 years has stagnated from the price point of view. But you have to understand that the performance of the company itself is incredible. This company last quarter flushed almost $8 billion of profits in one quarter. So there's no doubt that the company is doing good, but the perception in the market is that...
Why?
Well, look, Citigroup went through a lot of turbulent period in the last 3 years. You had a lot of scandals around it. You have the government affair. You have so many issues surrounding it. But right now, Chuck Prince is trying to put everything in order, put everything in place. And really, the expectation for Citigroup really is to go back and sky high at a later stage. You know, unfortunately, the price-earning ratio right now is around 10. And if you compare this to some other banks in the United States, like AIG, even with its own scandals, and American Express, and these are direct competitors of this company or indirect competitors, they are hovering around the 14, 15, 16 price-earning ratio. No, I am a patient investor. I'm a patient investor. So you have to understand that my entry point was also below $3. So when you compare my entry point at $3 and now it's around $46, that's pretty high return on investment for the last 15 years.
The last 15 have been beautiful, but the last couple have been tough. I mean, are you talking to Chuck Prince?
I'm in constant communication with Chuck Prince and constant dialogue and debate with Sandy Weil. He was here 2 days ago and I met with him. We always talk about what are the ways to try to improve the performance and the situation of Citigroup. I'm optimistic.
What did you figure out?
Figure out is that if they keep the performance at where it is right now by meeting the expectations of the analyst, by continuing in giving at least double-digit return on equity, the market will have to eventually reply to that performance. You have to understand, Citigroup is a $1.5 trillion asset company, the company with $80 billion of equity. The company is present in 105 nations. The company is flashing around $25 billion of net income every year.
Don't you think they need to, would you like to see them sell off some assets? I mean, I know they have with Travelers Life and Annuity, but what about other assets?
No, see, they are selling those assets that are underperforming and those assets that do not give double-digit returns. They are doing that already. And they are keeping all those higher return on investment and higher return on equity in their portfolio. It's happening already.
But with your holdings and your own bank holdings and some of the deals you've done with HSBC and others, are you in some ways a competitor to Citigroup now, to your biggest holding?
No, not really. For example, my alliance with HSBC is very much African continent based. It only covers the African continent, for example. And with Deutsche Bank, for example, covers only Saudi Arabia and the Middle Eastern region. So no, I think from my own point of view, I go with my interests is. And there's no doubt that HSBC will help us a lot in the African continent, and no doubt that Deutsche Bank will help us a lot in Saudi Arabia and the Gulf region. But this will never, ever take away from our international alliance and global link with Citigroup that covers the whole globe.
News Corp, another big holding of yours, they got a little battle going on at News Corp right now. Poison pill. Do you think News Corp needs to drop that poison pill provision that's trying to prevent John Malone from buying more stock?
Yeah, this poison pill, as you all know, that this came up because of the situation, the tense situation between Malone and Mr. Murdoch. Really, to me, this poison pill is really a matter of detail. And I believe eventually this thing will just have to go or disappear. I don't think it's worth the fight with the shareholders or the media.
The fight should go away or the poison pill should go away?
I think the poison pill eventually will have to dissipate and go and disappear. There's no need for it because, as you know, I announced my public alliance and approval of what Mr. Murdoch is doing. And I told them very openly and publicly is that if we need to raise our stake in Time Warner, in News Corp, it's something we're willing to contemplate to do it very swiftly.
Have you been?
No, as you know, we have converted our shares from the non-voting to voting, but we are always fully mobilized to really to come to defense of the existing management and board of directors if there is a need. And you, as I know, combined between my shareholding and Mr. Murdoch and some other friends, we constitute more than 40%.
How much are you willing to spend on that fight?
We will spend whatever is needed to keep this company independent, because I believe in News Corp. News Corp is the only real independent global company, and I believe in it.
Should you go after John Malone? Go the other way? The best defense is a good offense and go after Liberty?
I publicly said I am not anti-Malone. I am pro-Murdoch and pro-News Corp.
While Citigroup is by far and away the prince's biggest holding, he has major stakes in other companies as well. Time Warner, News Corp, Apple, Motorola, and others. After the break, when our For the Record continues from Paris, we'll ask the prince what he plans to do with both some of his winners and some of his losers.